Hey guys, it's your favorite Dinobot here, and in all honesty, I'm actually happy this series has done so well here, as we are nearing the season 1 finale. We are one more episode away here, or one more part away, before I really start cooking up for season 2, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So without further ado, let us begin. When we last left off here, Megatron and Optimus both put their differences aside, and Megatron ripped out the Darkspark and used the energies that were within him to remake his body. And I guess you could say it's akin to his Transformers Prime self, but again, still keeping his triple changer features. But he does have one fusion cannon, so, he's kind of back to normal. But again, keep in mind, he still transforms into a jet and into a tank. Cybertronian, mind you. So, with that being said, they confront a somewhat bruised and scratched up Fallen who was just in a battle with the Dinobots. Let's begin. The fight starts off very simply. Megatronus stands up to face his opponents, telling Megatron, "To think you were this much of a disappointment. Maybe I should have left you dead in space. However, I can correct that. And so, once I'm done here, Cybertron and Earth will both be mine." To which Optimus says not if he has anything to say about it. And so, with that being said here, Optimus lunges at him with the Star Saber. However, Megatronus uses his levitation or reality warping to simply fling Optimus away from him. And so, Megatron unloads his fusion cannon, hitting the Fallen with everything he has. But the Fallen simply stops it again and, well, throws the energy back right at him. Optimus channels the power of the Star Saber and flings an energy, well, I guess you could say blade or energy blast at him, if you will here. To counter this, the Fallen uses his Requiem Blaster to blast through the attack, and Optimus has to dodge here. Meanwhile, the Dinobots are all getting up, with Swoop helping up Snarl, saying that they need a plan. Snarl simply states, what could they do? He's a god. And this is where Grimlock is able to get himself up with the help of Slug and Sludge, and he says that, "I might have an idea. The Tomb of the Primes is still up, right?" To which they look to the rubble and they say, "Well, kinda." To which he says, "Good, I have a plan. Let's go." And so, as they run to the rubble of the Tomb of Prime, this is where we actually see Starscream actually come down and see if Thundercracker is okay. However, Thundercracker is badly wounded. Badly injured, mind you, as he was able to save Dreadwing from the explosives here. Now keep in mind, the Fallen in the last part was responsible for Skyquake's death, as Skyquake lunged at him and the Fallen used his reality warping to simply dismantle him, as if he was nothing more than a piece of paper, wet paper, mind you. And so, Dreadwing now awakens, and thanks to Thundercracker, he now tells Thundercracker he owes him his life, and he will hope that one day he can repay the debt. Again, still his honorable self. However, what they actually see here is that the Dinobots are running towards the tomb, and well, Megatron and Optimus are fighting against the Fallen. So, this is where Thundercracker asks, what can they do? What should they do? However, Starscream says right now, they're doing absolutely nothing. They need to get out of here. We're going to get back to the warship and just hope that Megatron and Optimus could pull through. Now, back to the fight itself here. Optimus and Megatron are struggling badly, to the point where they are both flung into each other, where Megatron actually tries to come from behind the Fallen and land a ferocious punch. However, the Fallen simply grabs him, spins him around, and flings him right into Optimus as they both come tumbling back. This is where Megatron pushes himself off of Optimus and says they need a plan. They're not going to win this like this here. To which Optimus says they could always just work together. And this is where Megatron states, okay, fine, then follow my lead. Transforming into a Cybertronian tank form, Megatron actually speeds to the Fallen. However, when the Fallen actually responds by rapid firing his Requiem Blaster, Megatron swerves in his tank form and, utilizing his fusion cannon, lays into Megatronus, using it to distract him here. Megatronus is having a hard time hitting Megatron, obviously, here. And so, this actually provides Optimus the opening he needs to actually land an energy blast, which actually harms Megatronus here. Not enough to really injure him, but it does hurt. This is where Megatron then utilizes his jet form to speed around the Fallen, utilizing again multiple energy blasts from his fusion cannon and some of his, obviously, his jet blasters as well, because apparently this is the only time he ever used them in his jet form, right? And so, with that being said, he does begin to pelt the Fallen over and over. Meanwhile, in the Tomb of the Primes here, Grimlock has actually made his way successfully through the rubble to the tomb of Nexus Prime. And so when he opens his Prime, he finds something missing. His corpse. Where the heck is his corpse? And so when the Dinobots begin looking around here, this is where Sludge, who is more so the scientist of the group, states that it's impossible that Nexus's Prime was buried in a different area than his tomb here, considering his spark or his core was the enigma of combination. This is when Slug says, okay, then where is it? And so this is where Sludge actually begins to put two and two together. If it was buried probably further beneath the tomb, then we might have to just go deeper. To which this is where the Grimlock simply transforms into his Tyrannosaurus form, or into his beast form, if you will, and simply tells the Dinobots, burn it all out the way. To which the Dinobots respond by transforming and everyone unleashing their fire breath together, burning through all the rubble and simply wandering deeper into the levels of the tomb they need to go. Back with Optimus and Megatron, both of them are actually beginning to gain the upper hand on Megatronus, as again, dividing and conquering him seems to actually be working here, with Megatron switching between tank and jet mode, leaving Megatronus open, for multiple shots from Optimus. Optimus then manages to get close here and actually cuts the Requiem Blaster, I'm gonna say a fusion cannon, cuts the Requiem Blaster from Megatronus' arm. However, Megatronus is still able to use his reality warping to fling Optimus back here. Unfortunately, this time, he drops the Star Saber. And so, Megatronus picks it up. However, he tries to channel its power, but it's not working. He can't utilize his powers. Now, you might ask, why? He's a Prime, right? Yes, he is. But see, the funny thing about the Star Saber is here, only a handful could use his full power. Megatronus is one of those few who cannot. And so unfortunately, the best he can get is for the blade to simply glow. Thinking that this will be enough right now, he then tries to turn to his Requiem Blaster, only to find it gone. And so, this is where Megatron states that, considering the sheer fact that he did take something from him before, I think this will actually suit him better. To which Megatronus rushes at at Megatron here with his Requiem Blaster, and Megatron pulls the trigger here. To which the Fallen has no other choice but to use his own reality warping powers to shield him from his own blast here. And so he tries to inch himself closer and closer, but this is where he feels a blast to his back. This blast is from Optimus. And so Optimus begins to lay into him with his regular path blasters, if you will. I think that's what they're called in the toy line and stuff. Plus, again, it is Optimus's signature weapon in the Align continuity, so we're going to keep it as is here. So Optimus lays into his back with the path blasters here, but Megatron uses the Star Saber and twirls it, utilizing the speed of it to kind of just parry off all the blasters while he tries to make his way towards Megatron here. And so this kind of leaves Megatron in a predicament. He's between one weapon of the Primes and a Prime himself here. This is where the Dinobots make their way deeper into the Tomb of the Primes, and they're able to find it, the enigma of combination. To which Snarl asks, hey, is this the right thing to do? I mean, we are just desecrating an entire corpse, right? To which Grimlock says, look, I understand that we normally wouldn't do this, but right now, Optimus needs our help. Cybertron needs our help. The entire universe and beyond needs our help. So right now, he needs to know if everyone, his own team, is with him. To which Swoop and Slug say, heck yeah, they're with him, and Snarl and Sludge simply reply with, heck yeah, boss. And so, with that being said, Grimlock tears out the Enigma combination and, well, tells his team to simply link up. And so, with that being said, the ground begins to stir. Optimus and Megatron both stop what they're doing, and so does the Fallen. Thundercracker has made his way to the ship with the help of Starscream and Dreadwing, and even they notice that the ground beneath them is trembling. And so this is where everyone else simply comes out, and well, they see it. The Combaticons see it. Soundwave sees it. Arachnid sees it. Knockout and Breakdown see it. As Volcanicus bursts through the ground, grabbing the Fallen by his throat, telling him that this ends now. And so, with that being said, a fourth contender, I should say, has entered the party. To which Optimus looks in utter shock, wondering how the heck could that have happened, and then he sees the Enigma combination within Volcanicus's chest. And then he simply gives them a nod, telling the Volcanicus to end this now. And this is where Volcanicus pulls out his combined weapon, the Magma Blade. A blade that was, if I remember correctly, is actually akin to the Star Saber, if you will. And again, this is going by the Japanese G1 comics here, where the Magma Blade was able to be made from Amalgamous Energy, and Amalgamous Energy rivaled the Gold Power, which gave the Transformer or the Cybertronian that was using it the power of the entire Omniverse. So take it as you will, but again, obviously it's nerfed in this continuity. So yeah. So with that being said, when Grimlock pulls out the Magma Blade, he slams it on top of the Fallen, who has no other choice but to use the Star Saber to block it. However, this still creates a massive crater in the ground that the Fallen is standing on, and the force of it rattles his entire body. This then allows Megatron to use the Requiem Blaster on rapid fire mode, pelting Megatrons where everything is got, while Optimus does the same thing. They did it. They're winning. They can do this here. However, Megatron is out of sheer rage, just flings all of his energy right out in an omnidirectional blast, blowing everyone back here. And this causes the Dinobots to disassemble due to the sheer force of it, and plus to kind of protect them all. And so this is, unfortunately for Megatronus here, does put the Star Saber in Optimus Prime's grasp. However, Megatronus doesn't care about that right now. He heads towards the Dinobots and begins to torture them. Utilizing his powers, he begins to crush them, just mangle them, tries to disorientate them, saying that he's had enough of these wretched beasts, just like he had enough of his brother Onyx Prime, always giving him a hard time. And you, to which he brings Grimlock closer to him here, you have been the most annoying that I've had to deal with. Why won't you just die? Seeing this here and seeing his troops in trouble, Optimus then begins to tap into the Matrix here. Understanding that the Matrix and Star Saber have always had a connection here, he wants to put that to its fullest test here. Megatron gets up, watching this from afar here, and he's actually impressed by this here. And with that, Megatron watches as Optimus utilizes the full power of the Matrix and Star Saber in hand, and with one swift motion, Optimus lunges at Megatronus and slices his right arm off, releasing the Dinobots here. Megatronus is in absolute shock. What happened? How can this be here? And so when he looks at Optimus, he sees that Optimus himself is channeling the full power of the Matrix and Star Saber together here. And he says, you don't know what you've done. You're going to risk yourselves for these beasts? To which Optimus says that no matter what the cost is, he will always put his life on the line for his friends and, more importantly, his family. And so Optimus uses this final motion to decapitate the Fallen. Basically, well, I wouldn't say decapitate him, slice him right down the middle, ending him once and for all. And so, with that amount of energy spent, Optimus collapses to his knees and drops the Star Saber here. And so, with that being said, the Dinobots all begin to regain themselves here, while Megatron walks over. He then points a fusion cannon at Optimus here, as the Dinobots are simply too tired and too worn out to be, well, able to help right now. They're just tired. The energy used to not only maintain their combination, but to battle against the Fallen repeatedly over and over, they're spent. However, before Megatron can tell Prime any last words here, Optimus, or better yet, Orion, looks at him in confusion, asking him, "Where are we, Megatronus?" To which both Grimlock, the Dinobots, and Megatron look in shock. However, Megatron gets a dark grin on his face, to which Grimlock says, "No. No." To which, this is where Megatron says, "Why, brother, don't you remember? The High Council, the war. You don't remember anything?" To which he looks at him, "No." And then he looks at the Star Saber on the ground. "What's that?" To which Megatron says, "Ah, the Star Saber. You have successfully recovered it for our cause." To which Orion says, "Our cause?" And this is where Grimlock says, "Hey, don't listen to him. You're not with him. You're with us." To which Orion looks at him and asks, "Who are you?" And this is where Megatron says, "They're our sworn enemy. Run, brother. I'll cover you." And so Grimlock tries to get up, but he's exhausted and tired. To which, as Orion is the first to run through the ground bridge created by Soundwave, Megatron simply smiles at the Dinobot and says, "Today, he'll spare him. Next time, he won't be so lucky." And so, with that being said here, the Autobots have won, but they lost at the same time. Megatron then tells the Decepticons to leave. They have nothing left here on Cybertron. They got everything they required. And as Breakdown lunges at Optimus, Megatron stops him, telling him that is no way to treat a long-lost friend. And so, with that being said here, what happens to the Dinobots? Well, they contact Ratchet, and they get a ground bridge from Earth. Windblade is happy to see Grimlock again here, and is happy that his team has decided to finally join him. However, this is where they have some bad news. They lost Optimus. To which Ratchet says, "What do you mean you lost Optimus?" And then Slug clarifies, "We didn't lose him in the sense that he's dead. But for some reason, he didn't remember us. Didn't remember even who he was even. And unfortunately, we lost the Star Saber and the Requiem Blaster in the process." To which, this is where Ratchet says, "So what are we going to do now?" And this is where Grimlock simply looks at Windblade, then back to the rest of the team. They're going to get Optimus back by any means necessary. And so this is where Jack pretty much, comes out of the blue here and simply states that they may have a way, and shows them the, key to Vector Sigma in order to get Optimus' memories back. So this then leaves the question. Okay, we have that. Glad that Optimus somehow trusted you with it. But, quick question. How do we get there? Says Swoop. To which they actually state that, considering Vector Sigma, it is in Kaon's territory here. And so they should actually be able to get there in a little bit of time here. But right now, they need repairs. They need to repair the Dinobots here. And so, just before Grimlock is put into a stasis lock, he puts Windblade in charge of getting back Optimus here, saying that while he's being repaired, she's trusting him. Giving the big lug a kiss before he, powers down and lets Ratchet repair him, Windblade says the first thing they're going to do is recapture Optimus the first chance that they get. And so, that's where we're going to leave it off here, you guys. How did you guys like this part here? And again, I will be discussing what the final part is very soon. So be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.